Hi, Kate.
What the? How'd the bloodletting go?
Well, I was disappointed my blood pressure was high.
Oh,
The last
sad.
2 times I gave blood, it was lower both times. And
Oh, you froze. It's just me.
clearly lowering my meds makes my life fall apart, which makes me stressed, which makes my blood pressure go up.
Yes, I can see how there is a lack of logic there. Or something. You keep freezing. You have frozen again. I don't know what to do. Am I the one freezing? Is it me?
I don't
Am I the
know. I
problem?
don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
And I don't know how to test my internet speeds.
Oh, it might be me. It might be me. Let me check. Because sometimes I somehow, when I'm in my bedroom, I get on my neighbor's Wi-Fi by accident sometimes.
Mhm.
Their Wi-Fi when mine went out one time. Nope, I am on my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is Atreyu and their Wi-Fi is Hogwarts. We get along. And I know their password and they know mine. So
That's awesome.
yeah, they're great.
Well, I gave blood. I got on neg. I got baby blood. I need to let go of the fact that my blood pressure's high. It's all good.
Well, it might have been today because you were fussing over trying to get to the podcast and you have a new puppy and
maybe
maybe
could be. But yeah. How you been, Kate? Did you have your shit together this past week?
Holy fudge sickles did I have my shit together. I was, yes, abundance, all the shit together in a cozy little package. I'm feeling so great. I'm on top of the world. I feel great.
That doesn't tell me anything. Like
mostly, sorry. That just tells you that like emotionally I'm feeling great. Okay, so as you well know, I did indeed need to humble myself and ask for help, and the help was received in abundance of what I asked for, which is great. So I got all my bills paid. I got rent paid. I got everything.
Wait, the financial situation from this like June when you had to stop working because of the surgery is finally resolved?
It's all resolved at the moment.
That is so fast. It's only November.
Yeah, well, it's all because I did the GoFundMe because I was desperate and I was worried we were going to be kicked out of our house and everything. And I'm like, I need to just swallow my pride and ask for help.
I didn't even see the GoFundMe.
You didn't? Oh my God,
No.
I thought I told you about it last week or something. Oh my gosh, Beck, it was crazy. Because like, I was getting really desperate about it because I'm like I was 2 months behind in rent. I was behind and then I know plenty of other people getting more desperate cases, but like I was just, I can't have my kids in a place where they are feeling less stability, you know, like they've been through enough. Divorce, pandemic, etc. So I just did the GoFundMe. I didn't ask anyone individually. I just, because I know everybody's going through a tough time. So I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to put up a GoFundMe on Facebook and say, this is what I need to raise. Whatever you can give is great. I will give you sketches and doodles or whatever as a prize if you want. And almost nobody wanted one. And I can't decide if that's nice or mean. It's nice, but only like 2 people are like, yes, do me a drawing. I'm like, I will one day. So I will though. I do want to. And I posted it Sunday morning, and then you know I was just feeling a lot of shame for the need to ask for help. Yes, I know logically why that's dumb, but like emotions are different. So I was like, all right, I'm going to put the shame aside because I have to go to my friend's another funeral, or else. Celebration of life, you know, which was in a park and it was rainy and cold, but it was a beautiful thing. And when I left that, I was a third of the way to my goal already. Like,
that's amazing. That was
amazing. And by the end of 3 days, I had topped my goal and kept going. And some people were still contacting me privately, like, I don't want GoFundMe to take the fees out. So can I just bring you a check or something? I'm like, yes.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
amazing. And so I now have enough, like everything's paid. I'm cozy for December, just in case I get no work, which is not what happened, because not only did all of these people donate, but suddenly everyone and their mother-in-law wanted a massage and or a tarot reading. People who hadn't even seen the GoFundMe. I did, like, normally I'll do 2 to 3 massages in a week, or some weeks it'll be more. It'll be like 5. Okay, so the week of the GoFundMe, I did 9 hours. This week I did 7 hours.
Wow, that's awesome.
So far, and people are still making it. And that was just massage hours. Like, there were also tarot reading hours. I'm like, what's happening? I mean, yes, I made the GoFundMe. There is a part of me that's like, I also created that abundance spell with my candle, and I am a witch, so maybe I'm a very powerful witch. I don't know. I will take all the answers and every answer. It doesn't matter, because it's all coming in and it's amazing. And I even have, I hope, enough money. In addition, I don't know how much it's going to cost to fix my transmission, but that was part of having my shit together this week, is that I called different friends in different garages to see who's good at transmission, because my car's had its engine light on for a couple of months. Off and on, and it makes a lot of noise and it grinds, and I'm like, I should maybe get that checked out so it doesn't blow up while I'm driving my child to his dad's house or something an hour away. So I got an appointment for that. That's looking good. Also, the food stamps people called. I filled out the appeal and sent it, and then they called me on Monday, just with like everything was hitting my bank account, and I'm like, I'm wealthy, I can pay all my bills, and then they called and they're like, oh yeah, sorry about that mix up. We're going to investigate. And I was like,
oh, awesome.
Rad.
Nice.
Rad. So, like,
Will you get
coming in, abundance is coming in. I might get my car fixed. I hope. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I also have this fantasy that like that like I park my car somewhere and somebody's semi truck like loses its brakes, a semi truck of a very big company, and it just like rolls over my car and smashes it. And they're like, we are so sorry. We'll buy you an entirely brand new car. Any car you want. What do you want? And I'm like, no. Subaru Crosstrek, orange.
Oh my God, yes.
Hybrid, 2022.
Yes.
Bring it.
Gosh.
Bring the abundance.
Car someday. That's
right?
The one I want too.
So yeah, so everything's kind of looking pretty rosy for me. I'm feeling really good. And I went, I met a bunch of new people, and some of the new people I'm making friends and stuff. So it's cool. Everything's looking pretty good.
That's awesome.
Everything's looking pretty good. It's like, I mean, I don't have a love life, but like, I'm not really hurting for that. That would just be, I'm just like, while all the abundance is rolling in, I mean,
when I'm doing the rapid pass to check in for my blood donation, I don't even read the questions if they have sexual contact in the question. Right. I just put no. There's been no sexual contact in the last 3 months. Nope.
Nope. I think
it doesn't matter what kind you're asking me about. The answer is no.
There is no kind involving any other being. Not at all. Not for several years, more than I can count on one hand. Actually, I have been abstinent. Although I am kind of looking forward to like the day that I do have a partner and we're discussing cleanliness and like stuff. Have you been checked? I'll be like, I was checked 5 years ago and I'm clean as a whistle. Nothing since then. So how about you? Have you been slutty? If so, well done. But two of my sister and a very good friend of mine both had a date with a new person last night. So good for them, you know. Both of them had fun. I've yet to hear any details. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for some salacious gossip, but haven't heard it yet. But I'm always in the market for salacious gossip. If either of you ever, any of you, either of you, anybody, anyone listening, your salacious gossip. All two of you or whatever.
Yes, send your salacious gossip to, I don't even remember the email.gmail.com.
I am the Swartz will do. I am the Swartz at gmail.com. Send all your tag, the heading should be salacious gossip for kids.
And also include okay to read on the podcast or not okay to read on the podcast, because if you don't, we're totally going to read it on the podcast.
Yes, we totally will. Oh, speaking of salacious gossip. Okay, we can decide later whether or not to include this, but I received a drunken booty call through Facebook Messenger.
Nice.
Two nights ago.
Yeah. From?
I just was like, who is this? And I'm looking and I scroll up because we did have some exchange of messages. He was a dude that came for a psychic reading once.
Wow. Wow.
And it was one of those psychic readings where it was some seriously personal stuff. Okay, so I don't want a client confidentiality break or anything, but it was an intense session. And then of course I never heard from him again, which is fine. Go off and may you heal, right? But out of nowhere, I get this hey, you're kind of cute, to be honest. You want to come over, or I can come over there? I'm like, okay, first of all, let me address the kind of cute. Oh, boy, I'm a babe. What is this? Got it. Okay. Might not be looking glam at the moment, but I'm still a freaking adorable. I'm not kind to anything.
You are not kind to anything.
It's either one or the other. Either this does it for you or it really doesn't. And I'm not upset about either option. Okay?
You are all of
no one appeals to you. What?
I said you are all the superlatives.
I am all the superlatives. I am the guacamole because I'm always extra. So kinda, what do you mean? You mean tonight? Because it's a school night and I have to get my kids in bed. Because I thought if I included mention of children, that might make him go, oh.
Right. Yeah.
No, I think he was too drunk for that. So he was like, yeah, I mean, tonight, maybe you could come over here after you get your kids in bed.
Nice.
I'm like, nice. This guy's very drunk.
Leave those kids. Just leave those.
Leave the children alone in the house and come over here for a booty call.
Yeah, that's I think that's a really good parenting technique. It teaches your kids independence.
Right? If they wake up in the middle of the night with a nightmare or vomiting or whatever, you can take care of yourself. You're fine.
That's the problem with kids these days. They rely on their parents for too much.
That's right. Especially the little ones. You got to toughen them up.
I don't know why these babies need to be fed every 3 to 4 hours.
Right? Babies.
I only eat 3 times a day. Come on, baby.
Cry it out. Suffer. It'll build character. So I'm like, dude, I don't think we know each other well enough for me to feel safe and or comfortable coming to your house for a booty call. Do you know who it is that I am? Do you remember how we know each other? And I hit send and I waited, and then it was like, I gave you a psychic reading back in August, and he was like, separate messages. Oh shit. Oh fuck. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. Wrong person. So sorry.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Well, Kate, I could hear about your life for the rest of our time on this podcast, but we have to switch real quick to my shit because our guest is waiting and he has a super busy day.
I'm so sorry. There was more to that story, but I can tell you later. It's fantastic.
No, but it was worth it. It was worth it. But I'm so excited to show you how I'm getting my shit together this week. And tell
me how you're getting your shit together besides giving blood, because that's wonderful.
Yeah, besides giving
even if
blood,
it did spurt out and hit the nurse right in the
we
face.
have a new family member. Bravo, bravo.
Bravo.
Say hi, Bravo.
Hello, Bravo.
He's such a good puppy. It's
your niece.
It's
your auntie. It's your auntie. So smart.
He's really stinky because I haven't tried to bathe him yet because I don't want to scare him and I'm scared of scaring him. So I need to get my shit together with that. But we have our shit together with almost everything else. And go ahead, go back to your bone.
Not enough of you.
He's so good, right? He didn't even squirm. I just psychically knew that he was like, oh, please let me go back to my bone.
Oh.
I get up earlier. I get dressed right away. I'm eating breakfast. I'm getting so much exercise. I like when he's calm and I have a spare moment, I run real quick and get my shit together with something because I know like I'm
limited.
He's going to need me to follow him around the yard for another half hour until he does something that I can praise him for and give him treats that I won't say right now, but then he'd probably want to go out. But he's really good for me. And today we have our first puppy training class, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, yeah. I'm so pleased for you. I'm so proud.
Yes, and I'm now kind of dog poor because I adopted him on a mortgage paycheck, which, you know, mortgage paychecks are just mortgage and groceries, but we threw a dog in there and he cost a lot to adopt and he cost a lot to buy stuff to make our home ready for him. And he eats a lot. Expensive. Oh my gosh, yes. And I mean, I did all the math ahead of time, but then when they were ready for me to come meet him, it was like the wrong paycheck. Oh, well, had to go for it. So, oh,
well.
So other than that, I had my shit together, but I'm so excited to tell you who today's guest is because he's such a great guest. We had to have him back a second time. Welcome back, Manny. You can turn your camera on now, Manny. There he is.
And this is your baby.
Oh my gosh. If you are listening and not watching, okay, our only viewer, Manny, that we always say is our only viewer, you need to watch this one because Manny just did the evil thing with his dog. It was awesome. Hey, Manny, welcome back. Did you have your shit together?
Afternoon, everyone. I don't know if I ever have my shit together, but I think it was a better week than the previous weeks. So
yeah, well done.
That's I think that's good. It's been yep.
I heard a rumor you just got a new bed.
Yeah, so one of the reasons why I got a new bed, we've had Foxy, the youngest of our bunch, back last November, and she turned a year in July, and she is predominantly Ray's my partner, but she likes to go into the bedroom, the other dog's bed, which is my bed, my other bed, and she likes to do her business there.
Oh no. Oh, that's so rude.
So after a year of stains, I said, you know, I've had this mattress for a while. I think it's time to get rid of it.
Maybe.
So I ordered a sleep number mattress and a special cover to prevent seepage if an accident does happen. So
it's like when you have children that vomit and pee while you're out having your booty call.
Man, so it's been let's see. So the last time I was on this podcast, I believe Snoopy hadn't passed yet. I was still working in the same office somewhat with Becca in the FAA. I think I just started seeing a therapist maybe. So a lot of changes since then.
A lot of good changes, except for one.
A lot of mixed changes, I guess. Right. So Snoopy's passing, right? That's rough, but I had him for 20 years. He was 20 when he passed. My mom had him initially. I was in the military. She got him in 2002. So I left the military in 2005. That's when he started attaching to me and was transferred over to me. So, but he was 20 years old.
He moved to Virginia, DC area with you from Chicago, right?
Yep, yep. I left after I graduated from college. I stayed for the holidays, and then the first week of January, I took a bag with all my clothes, put in the car, and got my dog, and we started this journey over to this new life. He's just representative of so many milestones of my life. So when his health was deteriorating or he was getting slower, I should say, we were going to the vet at the end of it every couple of weeks to getting him checked up, just make sure that he wasn't at any point suffering, and he wasn't until like the day everything just kind of came down, and that's when we decided to put him down. But the whole time, I've been getting my mind ready because it's still hard. But when you have a dog for 20 years, you gotta be appreciative of what you had. I was hugely appreciative about the 20 years that I had with him. So it wasn't one of those things where I was
Long stretch.
So like angry or frustrated it was too soon. It was more like even during the last weeks, the last months of his life, I was taking a bunch of pictures, sending them to people that knew him, and said, "Remember this day, remember that day." Just reinforcing the good times.
Yeah. What a
uh,
great way to look at it. One of the
yeah.
reasons that I didn't want, like, there were lots of reasons why I didn't want to get a dog before Chance came to stay with me. But after Chance stayed with me and changed my heart about dogs, one of the reasons I still was hesitant was because of the inevitable loss of a pet that feels like a family member is gone. Like, the pets we've lost have been not mine. They've been the children's. And I'm sorry, but I just think it's safer if you just don't get attached to anybody or anything. And I know there's going to be
want to ever fall in love.
There's going to be all these people that are like, that's the whole point of life, love and loss. And the sadder you are, it means the better it was, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But let me just say, I think the Buddha was on my side. Detachment. You don't get attached to anything. But how do you have a dog in your house and not get attached? I mean, he is just my baby already, and it hasn't even been 2 weeks.
So what you said about it, not even with an individual passing away, it's still something that I challenge, just this idea of moving on from somebody else. That's why I've gotten to this point where I just have a very close knit group, because in my history, as many of us, we open ourselves to other people that inevitably, for whatever reason, move on, and sometimes it's hard to manage that loss. You're like mourning for that, and that's happened a few times in my life. It doesn't help that I keep changing things. I left Chicago, went to the military. I left the military to go back to Chicago. I left Chicago after 3 years to come out here. So it's a little sad that so Snoopy was my oldest friend, who probably knew me the most. But then my closer friends are people that I've known since I've been here in Virginia, not people in my childhood, not people when I was in Chicago, not even people that I was in the military with. But it's okay. It's just part of growth, and it's just part of that also defensiveness at this point. So Becca, if Ebony go away, and that's it, I'm done. I'm not gonna do it again. All right, I'm not gonna start this whole idea of friendship again.
I just want to challenge you, because I've always had a hunch that you are undiagnosed ADHD, and people with ADHD have an object permanency problem. We never developed that. I don't think we, ever really understood peekaboo as a game when we were babies. I don't really remember, but
they're gone.
I mean, out of sight, out of mind. That's just the truth. Like, I was feeling like a horrible mother because I felt like I wasn't missing River as much as I should, right? And then I saw one of those quick videos on Instagram or whatever from a fellow ADHDer, and I started cracking up laughing because it's all connected. The reason I want to leave everything out is because if I put it away, it will cease to exist and I'll forget to use it. The reason why I don't shut cabinet doors, the reason why my medication has to be on my dresser or I won't take it. Like, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. And it's the same thing with family members and friends. When you don't see them every day, they don't exist to my brain. And I can't say it better. Jake Peralta on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite parts. He says they're thinking of shutting down the precinct, and he says to his best friend Boyle, "I'm like a goldfish. If I don't see you every day, I'll forget you exist."
It's funny that you say that. So one of the closest friends that I had that I don't have anymore is actually a family that I knew since my youth. But one of our last so I was always the one that was, reaching out, trying to keep in touch, and I was the opposite. I was always thinking about people. I was thinking about my present. I was thinking about the people that I've known and where they are, and it was like that for till probably 2013, which was after I met Ray for like 6 months, and I started needing to change for myself. But when one of the last conversations we ever had was when I'd gone to Chicago, and the mom, that's her daughter had said that to her, and she said that to me, and for me that was like so weird. They said, like, it's like if you're not around me, it's like you don't even exist. And for me, hearing that, I was just like, well, why am I trying so hard? But it's funny hearing it. They're not the last persons I've heard that from, and I've heard it between them and you. So yeah, I know there's
how I know that we are soulmates, because even when we stopped, we only worked together in that first office for a very short time, like months, not even a year, like low amount of months, like I think on one hand, I think 3 or 4 months. And we still, like, we weren't even in the same part of the agency at all. And we still kept a friendship. And it can, like, it's been years now. That was like 2013. It's been, oh my gosh, we need to start planning our 10-year friendiversary.
Yeah, that's right. It was 2013. I think it was May or June. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was either late May or early June. So yeah. So I think we just need to pick a date somewhere in there and just start planning our, I don't know, our friendiversary. 10 years, that's a big deal. I'm gonna look up what it is.
Absolutely.
I wonder how long we've been friends, Beck. Like 40 something years.
42, I think.
42.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's special.
We'll celebrate our 50th, Kate.
Yeah.
I guess I have a really good relationship with my brother. I've known him 41 years, so
there you go.
I
think when you grow up in a cult and you're together all day at school, and you're together at youth group, and you're together at prayer meetings, and you're together at fall festivals, et cetera, it's like a sibling.
That's what I was just about to say. You and I have been around each other in our formative years as much as I've been around my siblings. So you're just a sibling and or cousin that I'm close to. So even though you and I have gone like for years at a time not talking, the minute we're talking to each other, it's like it didn't happen. Like we're like, oh yeah, we saw each other yesterday.
Correct.
So this question about having your shit together, obviously as time goes by, what that means can change. And when I last was here, I said I started seeing a therapist. One of the questions that I had homework to figure out was what's my mother's values, what's my father's values, what's my somebody I admire, what's their value, what do I see as society's values, and what's my own values, or what are the values that I aspire to, and what are the values that I actually exhibit in my daily life. Which was an interesting exercise because you asked the question, what does it mean to have your shit together, growing up, and going through that exercise of understanding like your parents' values. That was a good eye opener to me, and understanding. I think I talked about a lot about religion, being embedded in that. But what's funny is that the more I sat and really thought about my parents' values, it was more. So my dad wasn't religious, my mom was, but both of them had similar values in different ways, which was status. It was not so for my mom's number one value is probably not religiosity or spiritualism. It was more status within that community of the religious group she was in. And my dad's was status in the family, within the family. So then,
in what way is the status established?
So that where I was, that the next layer of that is that that means that there's a set of values in those communities that were embedded upon me. And then for my mom, status in the church means position in the church, means amount of time you go to church, right? Somebody doesn't go to church, that's when they get together, start, oh, where's so-and-so? Oh, she's missing again. I hear that a lot. If my mom got sick, if it was something and she was missing church, like her first concern wasn't like, I'm missing church, I'm not gonna be able to serve. I'm missing church, I'm not gonna be able to worship the Lord. It was like, I'm missing the church, people are gonna start talking about me. You know?
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
And my dad's idea is the standard for what the familial status is comes from that specific culture of poor Latino family, Puerto Rican families. And that means that college, like, yeah, they know that's a social value, and hey, that's good, but it wasn't the priority. The priority is marriage, have kids, and get a job. And whether that job was in Walmart or that job's as an engineer, it's not as important as having that as number 3 on the list. Marriage and kids number 1. So it's interesting to see this, actually write this down, think about it, and see how it shaped some of the challenges and understanding my own values. And it's definitely not that. But I don't even remember what I said last time. What my shit together, what it means for having my shit together. But I one thing that I realized, and this is kind of where I'm at. Whatever it means to have my shit together. I think for me, I'm never actually going to. This will be a bit meta. I'm never actually
bring on the meta.
I'm never actually going to achieve, because having my shit together means I'm aspiring to have my shit together, which always should be better than where I'm at right now.
Oh God, that sounds exhausting.
No, it sounds like our last guest might be better
because I always feel I'm not enough.
Sorry, I guess I know Manny too well, and I didn't know our last guest at all. But you're absolutely right, Kate. It's just like our last guest, the whole like, do better today than I did yesterday, do better tomorrow than I did today. You're right. I guess I just know Manny's sort of sometimes tendency for perfection. That's why it sounded exhausting to me.
I was just coming at it from the position of saying, oh, I did better today than I did yesterday. Go me. I'll do even better tomorrow.
See, I'd like to be able to appreciate the fact that I'm aspiring to something. I'm just always just like, I didn't get there today. That sucks. I'm a horrible person.
See, I told you.
That is the opposite of how it should be.
Ask Becca, I'm working through it.
You guys and your guilt. Oh. I don't have the attention span to feel guilty about things.
Embedded early in my life, I don't know if it's the Christian or the Latino guilt, but that's one thing I've learned how to do well.
I missed the boat on most of it. I can't remember to have guilt usually.
But the question is whether I'm.
You definitely missed the boat on the Latino guilt.
I didn't even know there was a vote for Latino Guild.
It's based on the standards. For my Latino group, it's like you're how old and you don't have kids and you're not married and stuff like that. Like you should be ashamed. Shame.
Shame. There is Mormon guilt and Catholic guilt over not having children yet, but yeah. I think I missed that as well.
Yeah, but it's yeah. I'm definitely in a better place than I was, I don't know, two months ago. So in comparison, I have my shit together more today than I did then. Will I have my shit together more tomorrow?
Totally.
I just gotta, yeah. It's a choice. It's not a choice on whether I met it. It's whether a choice on whether I believe it. You know,
whether or not you recognize it.
Right.
And maybe praise yourself for it a little bit.
Yeah, I've got to learn to love myself
too much. Too much. Not that much self-love, Kate. Not too much. We can't love ourselves. Just think we're not total shitbags. That's all.
Baby, if I tell myself that I'm doing well, then I'll get lazy and not do well anymore. That's what the little critical.
Will you though? Will you?
You know, it's probably good that I don't have children, because that would I'd probably perpetuate those same standards, give trauma to a whole new generation.
That's what every parent does. That's what we all do. Pass on that drama. Hopefully less of it. But we'll come up with new drama, you know?
Yeah.
Well, like I've said before, my kids decided the best way to end generational trauma is to end the generations and just not have kids.
I guess I'm on that boat.
So Friday was Veterans Day, and we thought maybe we could talk to you a little bit about that. And what do you think about the whole celebration of Veterans Day? What do you know about the history? Do you think people celebrate it right? Do you think people actually appreciate veterans? What's your experience with the whole kit and caboodle? Don't worry, Kate will ask follow-up questions.
we didn't go do anything. The house full of veterans. We didn't do anything. I mean, I don't know. In the FAA, they did the hey veterans, send some information about yourself and so we can recognize you. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Why do I I don't know.
And they asked.
I'm appreciative of veterans, and I am okay acknowledging that appreciation. But as a veteran, I'm less interested in seeking that out as well.
Every veteran seems to feel that way. Every veteran I know, anyway. They're like, whatever. But like, go other veterans.
Right. Exactly.
So, thank you for your service. I don't care about mine.
It also seems like when you're, I don't know. It's like the agency we work at is full of veterans because of veterans hiring preference, which I'm fully believe in and think is a great thing. So it kind of feels like the teacher saying, everyone who's a student, raise your hand so we can thank you for being a student. I don't know. It just kind of feels like it'd be easier to say, if you're not a veteran, send in a note saying that you appreciate veterans, right? And then they'd get fewer entries and, more meaningful, right?
They did that in one of the Zoom calls. Hey, let's recognize our veterans at work, and just like I'm just like, I don't know.
It's a bunch of veterans recognizing each other at that point.
It's not that I don't like. I've had some interesting experiences, a variety of experiences, and I probably think about it differently than others do. But I also know that we've gone through September 11, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and a whole other history of some. I know that there are other veterans that have gone through much worse that are dealing with the after effects of that. So for me, it's just like I came out of it, and I'm doing well. I feel bad for being recognized. I'm just like, let's recognize those that put a lot,
those who suffered more.
So again, you didn't do enough to deserve a pat on the head.
Shame.
Right.
You don't deserve recognition unless you really suffered more than you think you should have.
Kate gets me, see?
So do you feel comfortable talking about what you did in the military, or?
Yeah, I don't mind talking about it. I was an aircraft mechanic. I joined in '99. It was they were called the crew chief. And so I don't oh here, give me 1 second. For those that are actually watching in the YouTube, so this is the aircraft, the C-5 aircraft that I was mechanic on. It was the largest aircraft in the fleet, and I was like the smallest guy on the squadron. So like it was so fun because I could get into every which hatch, and they would like get me into the tightest spots because I was so small. So
you're little. You can fit into little crevices. Go fix that. Get in there. Get in. Hold your breath.
It was interesting, and I'm the type of person that likes to face like my quote unquote fears. I say quote unquote because like it's not like I ever thought I had a fear of heights, but I know I get that sense of vertigo when I'm really high. So we had the opportunity to go on top of the tail of this aircraft with a harness, and so I'm like, I'm gonna go up there, I'm gonna go to the edge, and I'm gonna look down. I'm just gonna force it. So that stuff like in
I haven't suffered enough. Fun. I need to scare the shit out of myself. Y'all.
Yeah. So
did you shit yourself?
I did not.
Oh.
I did not. There were other folks that weren't willing to even stand on there. So it
nice.
That
does sound really cool, actually.
Yeah. It was fun. And so I served 6 years, and of the 6 years that I was in, I was probably gone for 3 or more of the years, either on deployments or on missions, because I was a flying crew chief. So I went out on missions with the crew as they delivered things, and I was their a dedicated crew chief during those flights. So I did. I had some cool ones. I'll give like both sides of it. I did a deployment to Germany. I did a deployment to Spain, but I also did a deployment to Kuwait. I also did a deployment to Iraq. So it's been it was a bit of a mix. Iraq was how I ended it. I because I was flying crew chief and I was going out on missions, I didn't have to go out on a deployment. But a buddy of mine, he'd been deployed a lot, and they needed somebody with the same skill levels as us, and so I volunteered to give him a break because one of his daughters was having a birthday. So the last I think 4 months of it, I was in Iraq. I went out there, and then as soon as I came back, I didn't go back out to the flight line. I was out processing. That was the holidays 2004 to 5.
So would you say you joined for any specific reason, or was it just expected of you because everyone in your family did it? I know you kind of told us in our last, but I just thought in case somebody's only listening to this episode,
or in case anyone has ADHD and doesn't quite remember all the details.
I already forgot what I said last time, but I'll tell you, it was I was in high school. I was in the locker rooms. I didn't figure out what I wanted to do next with my life, and I always wanted to do something more than the box I lived in. Whether it was growing up and not being able to go outside in our community, or just not being able to have similar experiences as other people. So I was sitting in the locker room. I was looking at one of these magazines for seniors, for opportunities for the future, and there was just a big old ad for the Air Force, and there was somebody rappelling off of a helicopter, which I don't know anybody in the Air Force does. I know the Army does that a lot. I'm sure there are folks in the Air that do it. Not many.
Did research their
But,
stock images, I guess.
but
This
I
looks
saw
good.
that.
It involves the air,
I said, "Oh, that looks interesting." So I went home and I told my mom and dad. I said, "Hey, I'm interested in looking into like maybe joining the Air Force." And so they just kind of like nodded and didn't have more conversation on it. Then like one of the
Like,
following
okay.
weeks, my grandmother comes to visit. And I'm sitting on our 56K modem computer on the internet, just wasting time. And I hear her say, "Oh, baby," well, baby's what they call me. "Oh, baby's going into the Air Force." I was like, "What?" So I was just like, I guess I better
I
look
was
into
thinking
this.
about it for 3 minutes, Mom.
I
I didn't
looked,
sign up. I just looked at it.
I looked for the Air Force online. I put my information in. I sent it in. This was on a Saturday. Thursday, the recruiter called me. The following Saturday, I went to see the recruiter. The following week, I had done my ASVAB. I had selected a career field, and I swore in.
Wow.
And this was all during Christmas break.
Yikes.
So I go back to school and they're like, "What did you do during the holiday break?" I'm like, "I joined the Air Force." I'm like, "What?"
Big deal.
They're like, "That's not something you're supposed to say, 'Oh, I spent time with family,' or 'I went out skiing,' or things like that. You don't say you joined the Air
I
Force."
got a new boyfriend, or I went on an adventure, or I joined the Air Force.
What opportunities for jobs did they have? I don't know. I didn't look into it that far. They're like, "Hey, you got these good scores. We need mechanics. You want to be a mechanic?" Okay. So did I really consider, my future? No, I was just looking
No,
at
because
the
you're in
next
high
step.
school, and that's not what you
Right,
do.
exactly. Yeah.
That's why they recruit high school students.
Yes.
I never saw a counselor the whole 4 years I was in high school. Never saw a
Wow.
counselor. So
Oh, boy.
obviously, in the household, we're not talking about opportunities because we don't see opportunities. Like I said, they're like, get a girlfriend, get married, find a job somewhere. And in this high school, I didn't see a counselor, so I didn't know what opportunities were ahead of me. And so this was a good outing. I appreciate
It worked
it.
out.
Yeah, I think so. I appreciate the time I had, and everyone has different experiences, but
You got
How else would you have met me?
right, yeah, I don't. I wasn't getting
NBC.
in the
Clearly,
FAA.
the ultimate purpose of your life was to be my friend.
Soulmates.
That
You got to
wasn't
get your
the thing,
soulmates.
right? I have no idea what my life would be if it wasn't for that decision. I wouldn't be in
Yeah.
the FAA. I don't know if I'd be out here. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So you did go on a college degree, right?
Yeah, I did. I went, so after I got out of the military, I worked for an oil pipeline for a year because, I was like, I need a job and they were hiring. So $18 an hour, 80 hours a week, not a pay period, a week. And I was like,
Are there that many hours in a week? That seems
yeah,
like too many. Did you sleep?
yeah, that's like
Did you
16 hour
poop?
things.
Ever?
Yeah, it was. I remember like because a lot of the time I spent was like driving along the pipeline. So I'd be out at 4 o'clock in the morning, and at 8 p.m. That's when I'd finally get to the hotel, get to bed. So yeah, and that's what I was like. I don't want to do this for the rest of my. What am I doing? I wanted to go to school. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to school. I've always been like one into learning, and here I am. And so that's why I decided to leave and go to school, and that's why I went back to Chicago and went to Northeast. And that's 3 of the best years of my life was going to school and just learning about so many different perspectives. It really, so it depends on the individual, right? You could go into a situation where there's a lot of perspectives, a lot of different ways of thinking, and stick with your guns with how life should be and how life is, and this is how things are. And there are folks that go to school that way, and they may develop skills, but they really don't develop themselves or their understanding of the world if they do that. Like I was learning a lot because I was seeing so many different types of people from different backgrounds, different beliefs, different just so many differences. And for me, it, I appreciate the time in the military, but being a mechanic in the military, I was predominantly working with a lot of conservative, often Southern white people. That was just predominant. That was for mechanics. That's what was predominant group in school. It was a school that was 33% white people, 33% black people, roughly 33% Latinos. I think it's actually a 30, 30, 30, and then 10% other when I was going there. And that I had an opportunity to learn so much about people. And I don't want to have this is what I learned, so this is how things are. I just wanted to learn more about people and cultures and things. And so I always went to all the classes with that mindset, not how can I push an agenda. Let me learn about different people, different backgrounds, and what drives different people. And that's one of the things I loved about those 3 years I was in college. I still keep in touch with professors over there. I still try to give every year to the school because inner city school, it's not a big name school. It's targeted for lower income and it's targeted for returning adults. That they have like an awesome, specifically the English department which is I got an English degree. They have such an awesome faculty.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's a good thing you went to college to learn about people in the world since you wasted your time and got a useless degree.
Do not call English. I will vouch for that degree. You learn so much about how to understand, right? There's when you go to communication classes, you're gonna learn how to communicate. But if you go to an English class, you're gonna learn how other people can communicate, how to understand what's being said and all the intricacies behind it. And I feel like I still use some of the skill sets. I learned a lot on how to read and how to learn about reading and how to learn about how other people communicate, how to dissect that. That I apply in work to this day.
You learn how to understand. You learn how to look at the underlying messages. You learn how to predict what's going to happen next. I was totally joking when I said it was useless. It's just the old English major joke. But I think it's
how to express yourself in different ways.
Yeah. I think it makes you ready for just about any job, especially waiting tables while you write your screenplay.
It has.
We might be a little biased though.
It has both an artistic element to it, creative element to it, and an analytical element to it. And I'm like really, I'm not super creative, but I enjoy creativity, and I'm analytical. Sometimes too much, and I appreciate being able to do both and use both.
Yeah. So. Is there anything else that you wanted to tell us about in regards to Veterans Day? Is there how do you feel about people saying thank you for your service? Does that seem rub you the wrong way, or you're glad people do it?
It doesn't rub me the wrong way, and it's actually I appreciate it. When I came back from Iraq, it's just one of the things that happens, and I've learned that happens to a lot of people. When I came back from Iraq, so I was in Iraq. We're getting hit by mortars. I got pictures of mortars getting blown that were found that were right off the flight line. We're getting hit by mortars regularly. We're evacuating and all this. So we were in the thick of it. And so when I came back, I remember everything was pissing me off. Everything was just pissing me off. And I remember I was leaving a Walmart one day, and I'm talking to somebody, and I didn't realize they had the the metal detectors or whatever. They didn't have it go beep beep beep. They had it start talking to you. Please return to the. We were talking. We were listening. I wasn't even paying attention. And this lady comes on and she just starts chastising us. Like, what are you doing? Don't you hear that thing? Go back inside and my reaction is just like, I shouldn't say the curse word, but
Say it. Say it.
I know, I'm not gonna say it, but I was like, B,
Fuck
please,
you,
you know what I
lady.
did
Yeah,
to you?
good for you.
You know? And she didn't know. She didn't know where I was or what I was. But for me, it was like I did that, and I came back, and nobody cared. Right? And that for a few months when I got back, that affected me. I was driving, and I would drive like 90 to 100 miles per hour because I always felt like I need to get away from everyone. Everything was just bothering me, just being back. So this idea of recognizing people for their service, I think it's good. It might help them be seen. It might help veterans be seen, feel like they're seen, which I think is an important thing when you're doing something that people don't see.
Yeah. So I would also especially like to remind anybody listening who would like to thank a veteran for their service, you can also send letters to your congressman asking them for better resources for the VA, that if they have enough money to put guns in these hands, they should have enough money on the other end too to give veterans the resources they need once they're done shooting people. So with that, I would like to see if our other veteran, our dear, wonderful Frank, would like to join us. He has anything to say about Veterans Day, or if he has any questions for Mr. Manny Cruz. Oh, maybe he's out with his dog and we've lost him.
Lost him to the
man. We wanted to have a frank conversation, and
it looks like we might get to have a frank conversation here in a second.
Whoa!
It's Walter! Oh my God, Walter! Hi. Hi, kid. Hi. Jesus Christ, you look like a different person than the last time I saw you.
Becca, your brother looks younger than I remember.
A little bit.
No lie, that's exactly what my brother looked like when he was that age.
Really? That was my first thought. I'm like, it's a mellow.
That was how he looked like when he joined the military, probably.
Yes, honestly, yes. So there's our other veteran, our in-house podcast veteran. Happy Veterans Day, Frank. And did you have any questions for Manny, or did you want to weigh in on the thank you for your service or anything like that?
I think I'm good.
All right.
Good.
All right.
Good podcast. Good to see you, Manny.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Frank.
Well, thank you.
We can't see Frank at all.
Thank you all three for being here, and Walter, Frank, and Manny. And until next week, keep your shit together.